Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we saw that trying to prove your value often reduces it. The more you explain without being asked, the more it reveals uncertainty instead of strength. Now we move one step further. Because after proving fails to stabilize the situation, something else begins quietly. You start explaining things to yourself. You create reasons. You make sense of what feels unclear. And here's the question guiding this lesson. When you begin justifying a situation, are you clarifying it or responding to doubt that already exists? Let's begin with the moment it appears. Something feels slightly off, a message feels different, a reaction feels weaker, a response feels delayed. You notice it, but instead of stopping there, your mind moves quickly to explanation. They're just busy. It probably didn't mean anything. I'm overthinking. These explanations feel reasonable. They reduce discomfort. But they do something else at the same time. Justification feels helpful because it lowers tension. Without it, the situation remains unclear. With it, you regain a sense of stability. You no longer have to sit with uncertainty. You replace it with a story that makes sense. And that relief feels like clarity. But notice the order. The explanation comes after the discomfort, not before it. Now look at what justification is actually doing. It does not remove the original signal. It covers it. The feeling that something is off does not disappear. It becomes quieter, less visible, easier to ignore. And because the explanation sounds logical, you begin to trust it. But underneath, the original doubt remains. Compare two responses to the same situation. One person notices a change and stays with it. They observe without adding meaning. Another immediately explains it. They create reasons to stabilize the feeling. The situation is identical. The difference is in what happens next. One keeps the signal clear, the other replaces it with interpretation. Now we go further. When justification repeats, it becomes automatic. You explain before you fully notice. You reduce discomfort quickly. You maintain the situation as stable, even when signals change. Over time, your perception adjusts. You no longer see the situation as it is. You see the version that your explanations allow. You see this at work. A comment feels dismissive, but it gets explained away. In relationships, behavior changes, but reasons are added to maintain the connection. In friendships, effort becomes uneven, but it is justified. In each case, the explanation protects the situation from being questioned, not because it is accurate, but because it is more comfortable. So return to the question. When you begin justifying something, what are you actually responding to? Over the next few days, notice when you create explanations quickly. When something feels off and you move to make it make sense, pause there. Not to change it, but to observe it. Because the explanation you trust most often appears where doubt already exists. In the next lesson, we move into something even more direct. How people begin to accept situations they would have questioned earlier.